The Galactic Council had never encountered anything like it before. Adrift in the void between spiral arms, the massive structure had initially registered as a rogue planetoid on long-range scans. But as the Council's research vessel Eternal Discovery approached, they realized their mistake. This was no natural formation. It was a vessel of war. Preliminary analysis suggests it's been dormant for at least 3 centuries, reported Captain Trell, her iridescent scales reflecting the blue glow of the command center. No energy emissions, minimal radiation. It appears to be completely inactive. The object in question spanned nearly 2 kilometers in length, its hull pockmarked with impact craters and scoring from weapons fire. Jagged protrusions that could only be weapon emplacements lined its flanks. Most telling were the unmistakable engine nacelles at its rear, currently cold and lifeless. "Send in the exploration team," ordered Trell. "Full containment protocols." Within hours, the Council's finest xenorchaeologists were moving through the ancient vessel's corridors. The ship's systems remained dormant, allowing the explorers to document everything they found without interference. "The design philosophy is unlike anything in our records," noted lead researcher Vox, his 4 eyes widening as he studied the ship's bridge. "Remarkably practical yet limited by primitive technology. Whoever built this relied on brute strength and redundancy rather than elegance." What puzzled the researchers most was the lack of any automated systems. Every station appeared designed for manual operation by biological entities. More concerning were the weapon systems, primitive by Council standards, but built on a scale that suggested devastating destructive potential. "We've found what appears to be a data core," reported a junior researcher. "Should we attempt to activate it, the decision would prove fateful." When the data core powered up, it triggered an automated protocol. Throughout the massive vessel, emergency systems began to hum with life. Lights flickered on in sequence, and the ship's central computer initiated a status check. The Council team watched in fascination, recording everything. None realized they had just awakened a slumbering giant. Deep in the ship's core, something else stirred. Cryostasis pods, previously overlooked by the research team, began their revival sequences. Inside one such pod, Commander Jack Reed's consciousness slowly returned after 300 years of dreamless sleep. The computer's voice was the first thing he heard. Emergency revival protocol initiated. Hostile entities detected on board. Security breach in progress. Reed's training kicked in before his body had fully thawed. The last thing he remembered was the desperate battle against the Proxima Coalition, his ship, the UES Defiant taking critical damage. The emergency cryostasis order had been their last resort when the jump drive failed. Elsewhere on the ship, the Council researchers were beginning to realize their predicament. Doors sealed automatically, trapping them in separate groups. Security fields activated, containing them where they stood. Captain Trell called Vox over the comm link. "Something's happening. The ship is activating defensive measures. We're being contained, not harmed." On the Eternal Discovery Trell watched in alarm as the ancient warship's power signatures surged. What they had thought was a derelict artifact was rapidly becoming something else entirely. When Commander Reed finally reached the bridge, his movement hampered by atrophied muscles and the ship's deteriorated state, he found 5 alien beings held in containment fields. They looked nothing like the Proxima forces he'd been fighting. "Identify yourselves," he demanded, his voice hoarse from centuries of disuse. The universal translators the Council team carried took a moment to analyze his speech patterns before Vox could respond. "We are researchers from the Galactic Council. We found your vessel adrift and believed it to be abandoned." "Galactic Council?" Reed's expression showed confusion. "What year is this?" The answer left him reeling. 3 centuries had passed. The war he had been fighting was now ancient history, its causes and consequences long since resolved. Humanity had survived that conflict, but during his long sleep they had retreated from this region of space, following a devastating nova event. "Your people believe this ship lost with all hands," explained Vox. "According to our historical records, the UES Defiant was destroyed in the Battle of Proxima Centauri. Reed released the containment fields, his military bearing giving way to a more contemplative stance. Then I'm a relic, just like this ship. Over the following days, an unprecedented exchange took place. The Council researchers helped Reed understand the current state of the galaxy, while he provided insights into human military technology that had been lost to time. What fascinated the Council most was human tactical thinking, where most spacefaring civilizations had evolved toward automated warfare and AI-driven strategy. Humans had maintained a deeply personal connection to combat. The Defiance systems, while primitive in many ways, contained innovations that had never occurred to Council engineers. Your point defense systems alone could revolutionize our approach to shield technology, admitted Trell during a meeting aboard the Eternal Discovery *. And your manual targeting algorithms account for variables our automated systems ignore. Reed found himself in an unexpected position, ambassador for a humanity that had withdrawn from this region of space generations ago. The Defiant once a weapon of war, was now a historical treasure trove. The Galactic Council, traditionally wary of military technology, made an unprecedented decision. Rather than quarantining the human battlecruiser as a dangerous relic, they established a joint research initiative. The Defiant would become a floating academy, where Council engineers could study human military innovations, and in exchange, Reed would receive the means to eventually contact distant human colonies. What began as a routine archaeological expedition transformed into a renaissance of military theory and defensive technology throughout Council space. The philosophies encoded in the Defiance very design, redundancy, crew survivability, and adaptive tactical systems, spread throughout the galaxy's peaceful civilizations. And when the extragalactic invaders arrived a decade later, the Council was prepared with defenses inspired by a 300-year-old human battlecruiser that had once been mistaken for nothing more than a curious artifact.